So if you're a student or anyone looking to buy a powerful, thin and light laptop at under 1 lakh rupees or some $1,000, then this video is for you. This is the 2024 model of Acer Swift Go 14 and just listen to some of the stuff that it's packing. From a gorgeous OLED display to Intel's latest Core Ultra processors with powerful ARC graphics, a 1440p webcam and plenty of connectivity options, there is a lot to be impressed by here. But before you go ahead and get one of these for yourselves, you've got to hear everything I've found out about this laptop. And I'll just say one thing about it right away. I absolutely love what Acer has done in the design side of things here. The Swift Go 14 is a damn good looking laptop with a clean minimal finish, which has been complemented so well by a premium all metal design as well. Not much has changed compared to last year's Swift Go 14 in terms of the design, but this thing is still incredibly well built and pretty much it has no flex at all. It's super lightweight too, weighing at around 1.3 kgs only, so I have had no trouble carrying it to work every day in my backpack. You know, it almost feels tailor-made for someone like me, to be honest. And I have to mention its impressive port selection as well. It has a couple of USB 4 connections on the left, besides an HDMI 2.1 and a USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A port, while there's another Type A connection, an audio jack and a micro SD card reader on the right. I actually would have liked it better if Acer had figured out a way to put those USB 4 ports on either side for easier cable management and whatnot, but I can look past that, it's not a big deal. This keyboard also feels pretty good to type on with nicely laid out keys, different levels of backlighting and all that. However, it's the trackpad that actually takes the spotlight for me this time. Because compared to its predecessor, this guy has a much larger and much more responsive trackpad that makes all the difference in the world in everyday usage. Clicking it still feels a bit stiff than I'd like, but that's probably the only complaint I have about this thing. And look, it lights up as well, and you even get a full set of media playback controls on the trackpad itself whenever you start playing something, and I've actually found it to be quite useful. Moving on, the Swift Go 14's crisp 2.8K OLED panel is also right up my alley when it comes to laptop screens. It has a smooth 90Hz refresh rate alongside accurate color reproduction with 100% sRGB and P3 gamut, excellent viewing angles and a tall 16:10 aspect ratio for a larger screen space. I mean, what's not to love here? I guess this glossy finish can be something of a headache at times when you're somewhere with a lot of light sources, but that's nothing you and I can't learn to live with. I also love how slim the bezels are, except the one on the top, which is where you will find this 1440p webcam. But while that 1440p high-res camera sounds pretty impressive on paper, I'm sad to say that the actual video quality here is not that impressive at all. Even when you're in a fairly well-lit room, the videos look weirdly dark for some reason, with especially poor exposure and contrast levels. Anyway, since the Swift Go 14 is also an AI PC, Acer has baked in a couple of AI-powered video calling features into this guy, including background blur and automatic framing. So you can blur the background like this, whereas automatic framing keeps you at the front and center during video calls and even when you're moving around a little bit. To be fair, neither of these features is new in any way. Actually, you can get them working on the older Swift Go 14 perfectly fine too. The difference is, while they worked up the CPU and GPU before, they're now handled by a separate AI accelerator called an NPU on Intel's Core Ultra processors. So if you're someone who's on Zoom meetings or seminars for hours and use these AI features, it's going to be significantly more power efficient for you. Okay, besides a new AI processor, the Core Ultra chips also bring a massive leap in terms of graphics performance thanks to the new integrated ARC GPU. So my unit of the Swift Go 14 has Intel's Core Ultra 7 155H chip inside, and when I compared it to its predecessor powered by the Core i5 13500H CPU, I was getting more than double the performance in literally all the benchmarks I ran. So this means the Swift Go 14 can even handle some intensive workloads like light video editing and gaming as well. Yes, the fans do ramp up quite a bit and it does get pretty toasty if you keep pushing it, but playing a quick round of high FPS games like CS2 and Valorant is totally possible here with a perfectly respectable average and 1% low FPS. I was even able to get something as demanding as Cyberpunk 2077 working on this thing after tweaking the settings a little bit. Although if you really want to comfortably game on an Ultrabook like this, I would suggest you invest in a decent cooling pad as well. However, there isn't much to talk about the CPU department. Actually, the multi-core performance has seen a slight improvement since this Core Ultra chip has a higher core count itself, but don't expect much when it comes to single core performance. Don't get me wrong, the new Swift Go 14 can still easily breeze through most of your everyday needs, be it something as simple as browsing the web, streaming Netflix, or editing a couple of streams of 1080p video. Multitasking is not trouble here either, with 16 gigs of high-speed LPDDR5X RAM, while the Gen 4 SSD also has quite quick read and write speeds. Lastly, I've been getting notably better battery life here as well, averaging at like 7 to 8 hours of screen on time during my everyday chores, consisting of editing Word documents, browsing the web, and some light editing on Photoshop every now and then. I also ran a separate battery life test for video playback where the new Swift Go 14 managed to last over 10 hours straight versus how the older 13 Gen model died in like 7.5 hours already, even though they have the same 65 watt-hour battery capacity. Okay, so to wrap things up, the 2024 edition of the Acer Swift Go 14 is a superb Ultrabook that comes with a fast processor, a gorgeous display, and a long-lasting battery life. Despite all this, I feel that 1 lakh rupees or $1,000 is a little too much to ask for everything that this guy offers. Cause let's be honest, most people looking for a thin and light everyday laptop like students or administrative workers or office professionals are not really pushing their laptop to the max. Neither do they even care about things like AI stuff or a faster GPU. So I think if you want the best value, you should check out last year's model that's available for some 60,000 rupees in India right now. It's got a similar design, an identical OLED display, comparable CPU performance, and good enough battery life. So everybody, that was all for my review of the Acer Swift Go 14 2024 edition. Do let me know in the comments if you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Saying this, I'm Pratima, and I will be back with the next video.